The countdown is on. About a month ago, I said we have about 136 days until the election. And I said that I felt like the potential for civil unrest or some kind of disruption was totally plausible, regardless of the outcome of the election. Okay? Nothing's changed there. Nothing has changed. I think it's just as plausible and it's just as concerning. Okay? So, beginning at that time, I started a project in hopes that I could get it done by today, and I did. And I put this together for you guys. I think I have answered all the questions. I hope I've answered all the questions. But what I've done is 100 Days to Preparedness. Now, I have different ways that this is going to be available. I will not talk about it as in-depth moving forward as I am going to today, because I have 3 versions of this available for anybody that wants it. Today it's available on Etsy, and it's the entire book, and sometime next week it will be available on Amazon on either KDP or in print. However you want to do it. If you want to do it. You don't even have to do it. But I'm not going to go as in-depth as I am today because not everybody's going to be able to get it right away. And so I want you to kind of see what we got going on. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sutton's Days. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and we're all about pantry preparedness because it is the best insurance that money can buy. Things are just crazy. They're chaotic. They're going to be crazier and more chaotic, I believe. And so we have 100 days to prepare as of today, the 27th of July. 100 days. And if you do one task every single day, because that's how I've laid it out, then you will be more prepared than you are today. You'll be more prepared than 90% of the people that you know. And you will be able to make it through whatever disruptions occur on the other end. We're going to cover the first 7 days so that you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm providing in this book and how I'm laying it out. Because I do believe, based on the conversations and the questions that I've received, that it's not enough to say you need to stock water. Because a lot of people just don't know beyond that what that means, what that entails, what's involved, all the different steps. And so I thought I would lay it out in a step-by-step process for each day to help remove the confusion, to give you a task, and so that it's something that you can check off your list and be more prepared. Now, if you already have this or you've already done it, then it's a day that you can skip or you can move forward a day. Or if it's something that you hadn't thought about, I think that's where we're going to get, it's going to hit for just about everybody because it's either something that you really hadn't considered or it's something that you weren't sure how to do. And if you are somebody who has already done it, then you're that much farther ahead of us. So definitely, I hope this book has something for everybody. The first part of it is about... It's actually days 1 through 10. We're only hitting 7, my friends, okay? And it's assessing and planning. So this is technically kind of the easy part, but we're going to walk through step by step. And I've got my notes, so please forgive me for looking down. But assessing and planning is the first group, and then there's gathering supplies, and then there's home security. Then there's health and safety, financial preparedness, communication and information, skills and knowledge, and physical preparedness, community and support, and then review and practice will take us to the end of the 100 days. And there's literally 100 different tasks to do so that you are better prepared. Now, if you'll allow me, I'm going to read you the intro, and then we'll get started on the tasks. I will put markers down below so that you can move forward as you like. The importance of assessing and planning. Now, you know me, I'm a huge planner. I love to plan. Okay, so this to me is really super important, though, so that you don't go half-cocked out there just doing all these crazy things that don't actually add up to anything significant. So that's what we want to avoid. We want to become prepared in a very succinct and methodical way in the shortest time possible. I mean, this is 3 months, right? So that you are as prepared as you can be for anything coming down the pike. So in the realm of preparedness, assessing and planning are the bedrock upon which all other activities rest. Imagine embarking on a journey without a map, a destination, or even an understanding of the terrain you'll traverse. Such a venture is destined for failure, plagued by uncertainty and avoidable mishaps. Similarly, in preparedness, neglecting to assess potential risks and failing to plan appropriately can leave you vulnerable in times of crisis. Assessment is the process of identifying potential threats and evaluating their likelihood and impact. It involves a thorough analysis of various scenarios, from natural disasters to man-made emergencies, and understanding how these events could affect you, your loved ones, and your community. By recognizing these risks, you can tailor your preparedness efforts to address the most relevant and pressing threats, ensuring that your resources and energy are directed where they need to be. Planning, on the other hand, is the strategic development of a course of action to mitigate these identified risks. It encompasses everything from creating emergency kits and establishing communication plans to developing evacuation routes and ensuring food and water supplies. Planning transforms the abstract concept of preparedness into concrete steps that can be followed when disaster strikes, and that's when it's the most important. It provides a clear path forward, reducing panic and confusion and increasing the chances of a swift and effective response. The importance of assessing and planning cannot be overstated, because I say it all the time, okay? These steps are not merely theoretical exercises. They are practical measures that can save lives, protect property, and maintain order during chaotic times. By dedicating time and effort to assessment and planning, you lay a solid foundation for all your preparedness endeavors. In this chapter, we're going to guide you through essential aspects of assessment and planning, equipping you with the knowledge and tools you need to face any emergency with confidence and resilience. And that's what I hope that you will have by the time you go through this. So I've broken it down into days. We start with day 1, obviously, and then we work our way through. So we're going to do day 1. Day 1 is identifying potential risks. So the methods for identifying potential risks are, there's a few of them, okay? So 1, your local news and media. Regularly follow local news outlets, subscribe to local papers or websites. Number 2 is government websites. Visit websites of local government agencies such as emergency management departments. Check FEMA's website for information on national and regional risks. Number 3 is community meetings. Attend local town hall meetings. I know how uncomfortable this can be. Participate in neighborhood association meetings if that is applicable for where you are. Emergency alert systems is number 4. You want to sign up for local emergency alert systems and notifications. Use apps like FEMA, Red Cross, or local government apps if they have them. Number 5 is historical data. Research past natural disasters and emergencies in your area. That's actually pretty easy to do, you guys, internet search kind of thing. And then use online databases and local archives for more information on them. You may not think something like, whatever has happened in your lifetime, but there is that time slightly before you, and things are cyclical, so you want to pay attention, okay? Number 6 is geographical information systems. It's a GIS system. Utilize online GIS tools to identify flood zones, fault lines, and other risks. You can find these typically online if you do a search for them, so I recommend that. You can also check with your local assessor's office, because Dime to a Dollar says they use GIS, and they will be able to tell you some of that information also, okay? And then check your local and state governments regarding their GIS maps. Social media is number 7, right? Okay, follow local government, police, fire departments, and emergency services on social media. Join local community groups on platforms like Facebook and Nextdoor. Be discretionary with those, because some of them are just a bunch of loudmouths blathering, okay? You want to make sure it's actually a good group that actually provides good information. That's important. Number 8 is neighborhood watch programs, if they're applicable. Join or start a neighborhood watch program and collaborate with local law enforcement for crime statistics and trends. Now, doing a neighborhood watch in my area wouldn't work. Our neighborhoods are, 40 acres apart from each other. So, but if you're in an area where a neighborhood watch would work, then I highly recommend it. Public safety agencies. Contact your local fire department, police stations, emergency medical services for risk information. This is number 9. And then request public safety records. Okay. Number 10 is insurance companies. Consult with your insurance provider for risk assessments. They'll actually be able to tell you quite a few of them. Review reports from insurance companies on local risks, including flooding, fire, tornadoes, whatever the case may be. Number 11 is environmental agencies. Check with local environmental protection agencies for information on pollution, hazardous materials, and environmental risks. Sometimes you may not want to know that, but it's better to know than not know. Number 12 is weather services. Follow the National Weather Service for weather-related risks. Okay. Use weather apps to provide alerts for severe weather conditions. Those two things are really helpful. Really helpful. We don't have sirens in our, I'm in the middle of the country, so we don't have sirens that alert us to weather hazards. We have to rely on our phones at this point, or if you have TV, you can have it on the TV or the radio. But yeah, so you need to find what, services are available in your area. Number 13 is local libraries and historical societies. Hugely helpful and free. Visit your local libraries for historical records and risk assessments, and engage with local historical societies for insights on past events. Number 14 is educational institutions. Contact local universities and colleges for research studies on regional risks. It's something that, you just don't think about doing, but they're a resource that's there for a lot of us, even me. Attend public lectures and webinars hosted by educational institutions. If they're free, go to them, okay? If they're anything that might be impactful for preparedness, go to it. Number 15, consult experts. Hire a professional risk assessor or emergency management consultant. I'm probably not going to go that far. You got to have money for that. But if you do have money for that, or if maybe like a group of you have money for that, then that's a great thing. As an individual, it's not something that I'm necessarily going to go out and do. But if there was a group, if we had a preparedness group that was, interested in that, that's a great way to go. Participate in workshops and training sessions on risk identification. You can find them. They're out there. You got to do a little bit of searching, and sometimes they don't say risk assessment, So number 16, surveys and questionnaires. Conduct surveys within your community to gather information on perceived risk. Ask your friends, ask your neighbors, what do you think's at risk? Sitting around having coffee, sitting around having a beer. What do you think the risks are? You can do this. Use online survey tools if you want to reach a broader audience. But you can find those for free. But if you were to create like a survey on, I think it's SurveyMonkey, and then send it out to all the friends locally on Facebook and say, hey, can you take this for me? I'm just doing a study. They don't have to know why, and most of them will do it because it's you, because you're cool, and people like you. Number 17, local businesses. Talk to some of your local business owners about their risk management strategies. And I think this is amazing. Don't hit them when they're busy. Find a non-busy time. Make an appointment, okay? Attend business association meetings for insights on local risk. I think that a lot more business association groups or chambers of commerce should definitely look more into insights on local risks. I think it's important. That's day 1. So is it just a matter of, we're going to identify potential risks? Yeah, there's a lot of steps there, okay? You don't have to take all of them. You don't have to take any of them. It's totally up to you. But if you were so inclined, you could probably buzz through quite a few of those in just a couple hours and learn more about what's going on potentially in your area as far as risks than you've ever known before. Day 2 Day 2, we made it. Create family emergency plan. I've been talking about this for years, you guys. If I have a video, I'll actually link it down below. Okay, but create a family emergency plan. It's so important. Identify potential emergencies. So you want to gather everyone together around the table, right? List possible scenarios. Consider natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, man-made events, fires, chemical spills, and personal emergencies, medical issues, home invasions. And then research local risks. Identify the most likely emergencies for your area, which you would have gotten that information the day before, okay? Number 2 is to develop a communication plan. Emergency contacts. Create a list of emergency contacts, including family members, neighbors, and local emergency services, which I don't think a lot of people consider putting onto their lists. So that's, that's a good thing to have. Not everybody knows the local dispatch number or the local police, non-emergency police number. If everyone's calling 911, you're not going to get through. Know some other numbers. It's important. Communication methods. Decide on primary and backup methods of communication, i.e., phone calls, text messages, social media, two-way radios. You need that initial way that you can try to contact people, and then the backup. Remember, 1 is none, 2 is 1, okay? Out of area contacts. Oh boy, Aunt Joe lives in, Detroit, 3 hours away, so what am I going to do? Choose an out of area contact person for family members to call if the local lines are down. If it's out of state, it's even more helpful, okay? It's that one person that everyone can contact if something happens locally. That's a really handy thing to have. Number 3 is designate meeting places, plural, okay? Home meeting place. Identify a safe spot inside your home where everyone can gather during an emergency. Number 2, neighborhood meeting place. Select nearby location outside your home in case of evacuation. A neighbor's house, a local park, the tree on the corner, whatever the case may be. Number 3 is out of neighborhood meeting place. Choose a location farther away from your neighborhood, a relative's house, a community center, the gas station on the corner, whatever you want it to be, okay? But having those 3 layers of meeting places, depending on what's going on, it's a good thing. Number 4, create evacuation routes. Creating evacuation routes is more important than you think it is. Home evacuation routes. Plan multiple escape routes from each room in your house, because each room has at least 2 ways to get out, okay? Neighborhood evacuation routes. How do you get out of your neighborhood? Practice drills. Conduct regular family drills to practice these evacuation routes, because just saying them is one thing. Doing them is a whole nother thing. Okay, if something happens and you can't get out the door of your bedroom, then you're going to have to go out the window. I can do that. Yeah, let's see you do it. You have to practice it. Otherwise, it's useless. Number 5 is prepare emergency supplies. Emergency kits. Assemble emergency kits for home, car, and workplace, including items like water, first aid, food, flashlight, batteries, and personal items. Go bags. Pack go bags for each family member with essentials such as clothing, medication, important documents, and some cash. So you see, we distinguish between the two. So you want the emergency kit and you want the go bag. One of them just has the stuff that you need in case of an emergency, even if you're staying in place. But the go bag has what you need if you have to go. And you can keep them separate. And if you have to go, grab your emergency kit, or make your emergency kit something that you can latch onto your go bag, so that it's kind of an all-in-one at that point. But the 2 different kits are super important. Plan for specific needs. Children and elderly people need special arrangements, and people with disabilities. So if you have that kind of situation, then you already know more than I do about it, okay? So you have to go into your head, into your home, into your situation, and figure out how you can make everything happen for them, plan specifically for them. And then don't forget about the pets. Ensure that they have food, water, and necessary supplies, because pets are part of the family. And if they're not, you probably shouldn't have one, okay? Number 7, document important information. Emergency plan document. Write down your family emergency plan. Ensure all family members have a copy. I'm going to print them off a copy and they're going to stick it in the top drawer of their dresser and never look at it. I hope not. Because if you bring it out and make it part of a monthly conversation, then they'll be aware of it and on top of it, okay? Important documents. Keep copies of important documents, identification, insurance, medical records in a waterproof and portable container. Waterproof, fireproof. Now, fireproof is not fireproof, but it is, but it's not. So, but you know what I mean. Number 8, educate and train family members. See, this is where that copy comes in handy. Emergency procedures. Teach family members how to use emergency equipment, fire extinguishers, emergency radio. It's one thing to have the fire extinguisher, but if your 14-year-old doesn't actually know how to use it, it's as good as a doorstop. So they need to know how to handle emergencies too. First aid and CPR. Encourage family members to take first aid and CPR training. Emergency roles. This is key, okay? Assign specific roles and responsibilities to each family member during an emergency. You're going to get a lot more buy-in if they are assigned a job, if they are in charge of go kits, if they are in charge of drills, if pick it, decide it. But if you put that family member in charge of that role, that gives them a sense of ownership and makes them much more interested in participating. Stay informed. It's hard. Emergency alerts, news sources, we covered those yesterday. Review and report regularly. That's number 10. Regular reviews to update your family, review your plan at least once a year or after significant changes, okay? So yeah, you review it every January, or in this case, every July. And so when next July comes up, you're going to review it again, if not at the 6-month mark. And you're going to go, oh, wait a minute, because Billy went to college, so we're down one person. So now who's going to take that job? So you need to revisit these. It's not a set it. There's nothing about this that's a set it and forget it. I want you to remember that. So you want to do regular reviews to make sure that everything's covered. Practice drills constantly, you guys. Conduct regular emergency drills to ensure everybody remembers the plan and can execute it effectively. It's not just enough to have a plan. You have to know that everyone can actually carry it out. That's day number 2. It's a lot, right? It's a lot, but it's not. But it's doable. So that's day number 2. Day number 3. Important documents to gather. There's a lot here. So we're just going to kind of whiz bang through. Personal identification, birth certificates, social security cards, passports, driver's license, marriage certificates, divorce decrees, okay? Number 2, financial records, bank account information, credit and debit card information, investment records, loan and mortgage, tax returns, pay stubs. Legal documents, number 3, will and trusts, power of attorney, power of deeds, vehicle titles, insurance policies, adoption papers. Number 4, medical records, immunization records, medical and prescription information, health insurance information, living wills, and advance directives. For as often as the hospital that we have locally changes ownership, I think it's super important that everyone not rely on them for record keeping, but at least annually ask for a copy of your records from the last year. They'll either give it to you on disc or they'll give it to you on paper. And you have a copy that way, Phil has literally a binder that big. And he knows when everything was done and everything was taken care of, and he doesn't have to worry about it. And if he has to see a new doctor, he takes in the entire binder. So I don't care what you see. This is the fact because I have it. It's a good thing to have. Emergency contacts, okay, is in the important documents to gather. So that's number 5. Contact information for family members, for doctors and pharmacies, and emergency services. You want those. Number 6 is miscellaneous, school records, military records, employment records, inventory of valuable items, including photos, pet identification, and medical records. Those are all important documents. Now, it's not enough just to have them, but how do you safely store them, right? So number 1 is a physical storage, fireproof and waterproof safe, safety deposit box, organized binder, emergency go bag. You can also do digital storage. Scan copies, external hard drive, encrypted USB, cloud storage, and password protection. So those are different ways that you can store it. Redundancy is super important when it comes to your documents, okay? Multiple locations, regular updates, backup plans, and then security measures, because security is really important. Labeling, excuse me, labeling, access control, encryption, those are all ways to make sure that they stay secure. So that's day number 3. Who's ready for day number 4? How to make a list of emergency contacts is day number 4, okay? And while you would think that this is pretty simple, there's some things in here that you might go, I did not think about that, because you guys do it to me all the time. So number 1 is gather the basic information, okay? Names, relationship, phone number, email address. There you go. Consider adding these contacts: immediate family, spouse or partner, children, parents, and siblings; extended family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins; friends and neighbors, close friends, trusted neighbors; medical contacts, primary care physician, specialist, pharmacy, insurance provider; emergency services, local police, fire, and ambulance; work and school contacts, employer or the HR department, school office, daycare provider; utility and service providers, electric company, gas company, water company, internet. Other important contacts: your veterinarian, your emergency repair service for your plumber or your electrician or whatever, okay? And then your out of area contact that we talked about earlier, somebody who lives out of your area that can be the beacon that everyone else reports to if they can't get hold of each other. Number 3 is special instructions for creating the list. Again, something you may not have thought about. You want to organize it, it's got to be organized. If it's cattywampus, it does nobody any good, okay? So categorize contacts, group them into categories, i.e., family, medical, emergency services for easy access. Prioritize the contacts, list the most critical contacts first. So if Uncle Bob is the number 1 person to call, don't put him 5th on the list, put him up top, okay? So figure out the importance there. Include additional information: their addresses, medical information for family members, if they're allergic to anything, emergency plans, brief instructions on what to do or where to go in various emergencies, and, the designated meeting spot, whatever. You want to format it. Don't let this scare you, okay? Print copies, print multiple copies, digital copies, and emergency cards. Create wallet-sized emergency contact cards for each family member. I think this is genius. And it's going to take some formatting to get the font small enough, okay? But for those initial, for the contact cards, you actually only want that initial list, the basic information: name, relationship, phone number, email, okay? And if you have room, add on number 2, 3, whatever. But get as much as you can on that card where it's still legible. Laminate that bad boy, okay? And have one for everybody's wallet. You want to review and update? Okay? At least once a year, preferably twice. You want to look through that list and make sure that it's all still relevant. Does Sally move a whole bunch? Okay, time to update, So review and update. And then practice using it. Conduct a family drill to ensure that everyone knows how to use the contact emergency list. Let everyone on the list know that it's going to happen. Uncle Joe doesn't need a whole bunch of phone calls. Day 5, that's a lot for 4 days, right? It's not. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. So check it out. Day 5, choosing a safe room in your home. And this is one that I struggle with, so I really tried to hit all the angles for you guys. Number 1 is identify personal threats, okay? Natural disasters, home invasions, chemical spills, whatever. And so you need to figure out where would be the best place in your house for any of those scenarios. And it might be a different room for some, but for the most part, it should come down to one room. Number 2 is location consideration. This is kind of a if this happens list, right? So tornadoes and hurricanes, you want to look for a basement, interior room, avoid rooms with windows and exterior walls. That's the one I struggle with. I don't have an interior room. Earthquakes, you want a sturdy structure and you want lower floors, okay? Home invasion, central location. Choose a room that's easily accessible from most parts of the house. You want solid doors. You really do. Ensure the room has a solid core or metal door with a deadbolt lock. You want to be able to keep the bad guys away as long as you can. Chemical spills, you need to be above ground. You have to stay out of the basement at that point, right? And the solid door again, ensure that the room has a solid core or metal door with a deadbolt lock, because that is easier to tape off. It's more secure, less porous, the whole deal for that stuff coming through. So you want to watch for that. Chemical spills. So you want to stay above ground for chemical spills. Do not go into your basement if there's a chemical spill in your area. The other one is a sealed room. Opt for a room that can be easily sealed off from outside air. That's going to be key with a chemical spill, because you need to be able to tape those doors. You need, if this has windows, you need to be able to tape those windows, and it keeps you safer. Number 3 is structural considerations. Windows. Okay, ideally the safe room would be windowless to avoid broken glass hazard. Walls, they need to be thick reinforced walls, provide better protection. Door, solid, secure with a deadbolt is essential for security. Now, we can't all do that, and I get that. So you do what you can. Don't stress about the rest, okay? Number 4 is essential supplies for the safe room. You need an emergency kit in there. You need the communication devices you've been working on. You need some comfort items, because during a stressful time, nothing will make you feel better than your binky, okay? So store blankets, pillows, some basic hygiene supplies, Tools, have a multi-tool, or basic tools like wrench and pliers. You need some basic tools in there just in case. And then important documents, you bring those into that room or that area with you also. Number 5 is preparing the safe room. So you want reinforcement, door reinforcement, window protection, wall reinforcement. You want ventilation. You don't want it to be airtight, okay? You want to ensure that there's adequate airflow, adequate ventilation, while being able to seal off the room during a chemical spill or similar threat. You need the sealing materials. It's nice to say that you're going to seal it, but you actually need the materials to do it. So keep plastic sheeting and duct tape to seal windows, vents, and doors if needed. It doesn't take up that much room. Just put it in there, okay? Communications and monitoring, emergency radio, and security cameras if possible. You guys have seen those movies, right? And so that right there is the first 5 days, my friends. That's what this book does. That's what I hope it provides for everyone, is that it gives you the day, okay? Because we have 100 days. And it gives you the day, and it tells you the basic overview of it, and then it actually tells you the different steps to accomplish it. Because I know that it's not just enough to say that we need to create an emergency plan. Sometimes it really, really helps to have it spelled out as to what kind of information to have in that emergency plan and what to do with it once you do have it. We're at 100 days from the election, with a day built in for buffer. The world is a hot mess. You just don't know what's going to happen. That whole cyber thing that happened the other day, where there's still businesses down from it. Those kinds of things are not going to go away. They could actually only get worse. There are going to be disruptions, whether they're disruptions like that, or they're disruptions in shipping, or they're disruptions in whatever. That all has total possibility to happen. And it's not just within the next 100 days or at the end of the 100 days. It's moving forward. So if you take this seriously and you go through this list and you pick out the days that are applicable to you after you read through them, okay, and handle those first, and then go back and do the ones that are on the wish list. Go back and do the other ones, towards the end of the time period. Getting prepared is important. It's not a matter of doomsday prepper or bunkers full of bullets or, whatever. These are basic steps just to make sure that you and yours are safe and have what you need in case of any kind of emergency or disruption. We've all been going through all of them for a few years now. And while you would think that this would teach most people to become prepared to some extent or another, it's still not. And so a majority of the people that you know, the people that you pass on the street, are not taking steps for the just in case, and they're not carrying that insurance card. So if it does happen, they are at risk, at which point they are a risk to you and yours. I hope that you will consider acquiring this book in whatever format. Again, the PDF is available immediately on Etsy. It'll be probably Tuesday, Wednesday before the paperback or the KDP version is available, but it's there, and we will be checking in regularly over the next 100 days regarding this particular topic to make sure that we are getting this all done. If you have any questions about anything in it, please email me because I would love to address them. I'm not claiming that I know everything by any stretch, okay? But I've really worked hard on this to make sure that you have the basics for getting started and the basics for triggering thoughts on different scenarios that you may not think about often or you may not have ever thought about. And I hope that that helps you become better prepared. If you want to check out different ways to become prepared, check out this video right here. And until next time, everybody, be safe and stack it to the rafters.